So it's not exactly a peaceful morning, but I have my cinnamon tea, I have my stuffed animal, so let's talk. Okay, so first of all, happy Valentine's Day, guys. I've never dated before in my life, so I don't know anything about dating. So I hope you guys had a great one. Valentine's Day for me is just the time where I make fun of my dad and how terrible he is at getting my mom gifts. Like, dude, I love you, but you've been married to this woman for like 25 years. You should always know what she wants. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great one. I was just kind of dealing with a lot. School, the usual. Also, my dream about ayan getting canceled kind of sort of came true. I mean, this guy, come on. It's not very great when your faves really do the problematic stuff. But, it's not my place to tell people whether they should be offended or not, whether they should accept his apology or not. But one thing I will say is that ayan is not a child. He literally turned 25 years old less than a month ago, okay? He is more than capable of asking questions. This is a boy with creative freedom in his craft. And the fact that he was willing to wear that shirt with inscription in a language he doesn't even know and didn't even bother to ask, I mean, it's just disappointing to me. So yeah, I'm pretty much holding him to the same standard as I hold the Stylist and Starship Entertainment. They did apologize. I'm grateful that they did. And even though this is not my religion, as a person of faith, I'm just genuinely disappointed in him. Anyways, to this particular video today, I am going to be clarifying a few things from my How Woojin Became the Villain of K-Pop, because I feel like that video was meant to clarify certain things, but for some reason there seems to be even more confusion. First, I would like to apologize for a mistake I made on the 10 minutes timestamp. In that timestamp, I mentioned that Chan went on another V Live to clarify that the V Live he did on March 24th was not about Woojin. But actually, that isn't true. While, yes, he was defending Woojin, it wasn't from the V Live. It was actually from his player. I hate to admit, and people thought the lyrics had something to do with Woojin, so they started hating on him, and that was when Chan came and cleared that up and said, well, look, they're not about him, I don't want you guys to go hating on him and stuff like that. So yes, he was defending Woojin, but it was not from his previous V Live, it was from his player. So to the fans who pointed that out, first of all, thank you. Now, the next question, I guess, that begs is, where does that leave us if he was not clarifying that he wasn't talking about Woojin in the V Live? In my personal opinion, I'm still not convinced that the V Live was about Woojin for a number of reasons. The first one being the fact that he said, stays know what I'm talking about. It doesn't make any sense that he would say that, since the fandom doesn't even know why Woojin left in the first place. So how could he tell stays, oh, they know what I'm talking about? I think that phrase, personally, at least for me, how I translated it, it meant as in they get the message that he was trying to teach, because he was trying to teach stays to not be the kind of people who make promises and then break them, or who make decisions and don't care about how they affect other people. Secondly, I believe that it isn't about Woojin, because Woojin leaving JYP was not a consequence, guys. It was a personal choice. JYP made it pretty clear. JYP Entertainment is not exactly the company to shy away from telling people they kick someone out for bad behavior. Now, there was a trainee, I forgot his name, I will find it and put it up on the screen, but this trainee was actually he was actually kicked out of JYP for bad behavior. And guess what? JYP wasn't afraid to say it. They literally made it pretty clear, look, this guy had bad behavior, was drinking and smoking while he was underage and whatnot, and we decided we can't keep this guy here. So that's why he left. But for Woojin, they made it pretty clear it was personal reasons. So Woojin leaving Stray Kids was a personal choice. And I think because people are having a hard time accepting that, they just don't want to move on from it, which is something that I feel like still needs to be talked about. Like, we're in a time and age where artists can walk away from stuff. You know what I mean? I had somebody arguing with me saying they don't understand why Woojin left. I mean, GOT7 sat through their mistreatment. And I don't understand why this is even a conversation, because GOT7 chose to sit through the bull that JYP gave them. Look at them now. Maybe Woojin just thought he deserved better and he chose to walk away. I don't understand why people think that Woojin should have sucked up his mistreatment because every other idol is doing the exact same thing. Sometimes people just know they deserve better and they aren't afraid to go after it. So maybe Woojin is just one of those people. If he felt like he wasn't being respected by the company or whatnot, maybe that's why he left. I don't know why people are having a hard time accepting that Woojin can leave on his own. I don't know why. Why is that such a complicated concept for you guys? Like, seriously, he's a grown man. He's smart. He cares about his career. I don't think he worked so damn hard all those years training at SM and then coming here only to get what he truly didn't want in life. Life is too short for you to not go after what you truly want. So maybe, just maybe, he left by choice. And the fact that we keep hanging this over his head, I keep hearing people saying, oh, he's been blacklisted and whatnot. I don't think people really understand the definition of being blacklisted, okay? Because when we say someone is blacklisted, if he had truly been blacklisted, guys, he wouldn't even be with 10X. When we say somebody is blacklisted, they have been deemed by an organization as untrustworthy. He would not have been in another entertainment company if he had been blacklisted, okay? And I don't think people really understand what that means, because if he was blacklisted, 10X would not have hired him. They wouldn't have. So please stop walking around and telling people that, why would he be blacklisted by JYP if he wasn't blacklisted? Stop. The other thing that I also want to address is the fact that people can't seem to accept that Woojin or, JYP or Stray Kids won't tell us why Woojin left. I don't understand why people are so angry about this, because I feel like sometimes we forget that these people deserve privacy in their lives. Like, we are so used to knowing almost everything there is to know about them that we expect them to tell us everything all the time. Just because we were fans of Woojin and we were invested in Stray Kids does not mean he has to tell us why he left. He has every right to choose to keep quiet about it. And the fact that people are so insistent on, hanging the fact over his head that, well, he didn't tell us, so it must be something bad. What if it's just because he had a girlfriend? Like, seriously. It could have been something as simple as that. But I don't understand why people are so quick to assume that the reason why he left, it must mean he did something bad because he won't say anything. If he was treating the other members poorly, JYP would have said so, because they have a history of making things pretty clear when somebody leaves the company because they did something terrible, like this trainee I mentioned earlier. The JYP would have said so. They're not really the kind of company to shy away from telling people, look, this person screwed up, they behaved badly, and we don't want them here, so we kick them out. So for people to just keep hanging this over his head, please just let it go, guys. Let it go. We don't know why he left. We probably never will. And it's honestly up to him to decide whether he wants to tell us or not. The next thing I want to talk about is the bullying situation, because I am still surprised that there are people still underneath the comment section talking about he treated the other members poorly. Oh my God, they look so much happier without him. Oh my gosh, he was treating them bad. Like, I'm tired of hearing this. I'm already sick of hearing this, okay? I have addressed this earlier. You know what? The funny thing is, right now, as I'm talking to you, someone is literally responding to me. In fact, they claimed that they said, quote, innocent or not, he has not been the best to his members and he treated them poorly, right? And so now, of course, they had people responding to them like, yeah, you don't know anything. I was like, you know what? Since you lived with them and everything, why don't you tell us all about it? And they're telling me, WTF, this is my opinion. He constantly made Ayan uncomfortable. He hurt me, and Felix so many times. And I'm thinking, what is this? Like, literally, I'm reading this. This was like 38 seconds ago. And what? And they think, oh my God, this is ridiculous. They actually think on the day they were playing the Reaping Ning Tag game, when Chan was body slamming Woojin to the floor. Like, what is this? He's aggressive and he makes people uncomfortable. That's another thing that I want to talk about. Why is it that when it comes to Woojin doing that stuff, he's the aggressive one? But when the other members are doing it, it's fine. It's cute. Like, y'all, keep the same energy when it comes to the other members, because they did the exact same thing. Literally, they shove each other, they push each other, they are constantly, grabbing each other and whatnot. I mean, they were like, oh, Felix was smiling because Chan was body slamming Woojin to the floor. Like, because they are boys. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know what the big deal is. Because seriously, my parents grew up with 3 brothers each, and they tell me, boys, this is exactly how they play. Like, I don't like the statement, boys will always be boys, because usually it's used to excuse certain behavior. But this is just how guys play. They don't play the same as girls. They just be doing this all the time. Like, why is it that you guys don't want to keep the same energy when it comes to the rest of the members? They do this stuff all the time, yet for some reason when it's Woojin doing it, it's aggressive and it's mean. Oh, he made Ayan uncomfortable. Ayan was scared of him. Oh yeah, sure. That's why Ayan was always hugging him and sleeping on his shoulder, because he was totally terrified of Woojin. Oh my God. I am so over this. Okay. I've already talked about this. I'm not going to talk about it again. Okay. These videos were edited in a way to make people believe that he was a bully. You already have a preconceived thought about who Woojin is, right? So anything and everything that you see is going to look shady and weird and questionable. So now you question it based off of that. That is exactly what is happening. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous to me. You guys, this is tired. I've already talked about the Woojin bullying allegations. I'm not discussing this no more, okay? If you want to believe that he was a bully to make yourself sleep at night so you don't look like a clown for judging him in the first place, then screw you. I don't have to explain anything to you, because this is something my aunt always says. Like, if someone is willing to believe you're a bad person, that you did something and they don't have proof, they've already been looking for a reason to hate you. So these people, in my personal opinion, y'all been looking for a reason to hate Woojin, okay? Now you have it. If it makes you sleep at night, go right ahead. I'm not interested in explaining myself to you anymore, because I am so sick and tired of trying to explain this concept. The final thing that I want to address, it has to do with his statement, because I keep hearing all this misinformation. Just yesterday, somebody was telling me that he should not have referred to the allegations as a joke. I don't know where they got this. Like, this is like a terrible game of broken telephone. Like, seriously, I keep hearing all the weirdest things. Somebody said, oh, he wrote ha 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 in his statement. Now I'm being told, oh, he referred to it as a joke. And oh my God, you people, this statement was simply mistranslated. Okay. Now, when we got a native speaker to actually translate this, they said that Woojin had actually written it in honorific form. I put a little clip video for you guys. I told you guys to pause and read it. There's a reason why I told you to do that, because this person properly explained what really happened. They said, look, he used honorific terms, but those honorific terms were lost when it was translated to English. That's one thing people need to understand. The second thing was this whole absurd the phrases that he used were totally lost in translation. Okay, so first he mentioned that this was a quote absurd situation. Now the translation that he used, actually it was an indication that he felt like, you know, you're in a confused state and you have no idea what is happening. I mean, which is true. You know, you don't just wake up every morning and someone is accusing you of sexual assault. It's actually kind of absurd. You have no idea what is going on. Clearly you're confused. So when they translated this from Korean to English, it was just like, oh, absurd situation. So everybody was like, well, how dare you call it that? And the other thing is the fact that he referred to it as a quote weird rumor. Now the English word, when we talk about weird, is going to sound like, oh, he was saying, oh, it's creepy. But apparently the phrase that he used in Korean simply translate to something being uncommon or odd. So he was basically saying these allegations were odd because they were literally coming out of nowhere, and the person not only posted this and then they went ahead and deleted it. So he just didn't understand why on earth somebody would do something like that. I mean, I don't know why people are so freaked out about this, you know, they're saying, oh, he handled this poorly. Like, really think about it. First of all, this was an anonymous account. B, it had false information because this person is a foreigner claiming that they had conversations with Woojin, and Woojin doesn't even know how to speak English. Guys, I mean, the last time Chan asked him what he had for dinner, his response was, I'm fine, thank you. This man doesn't know how to speak English. So, of course, he's thinking, okay, this is ridiculous. How is this person claiming that I was there at a bar during lockdown and that we had a conversation with this foreigner when I don't even know how to speak English, and apparently they don't know how to speak Korean? So, of course, this was strange and weird for him. And for people to say that, oh, you know, he was making a joke out of it, or he said, you know, it was a joke, or he said, ha, ha, ha. I don't know where I don't know where people are getting this from. And the last thing is when he said fans must have been surprised. Now, the word in it, in fact, they said the verb that was used had multiple meanings. And in this context, because context is important, guys, I always tell you context. In this context, it meant that he was shocked and the fans must have been shocked or scared. Okay, so in this statement, when he told them, please don't worry too much, this was a statement that is, in this particular context, he was trying to get the fans not to freak out. Because honestly, that is the first thing that you do when someone tells you, oh, this idol that you look up to is a sexual harasser. Of course, the first thing you're going to do is panic. That gives you anxiety because you're thinking, okay, I've been standing this person for a long time. I thought they were a good person. And now I'm hearing this about it. So what is really going on? So he was trying to console his poor fans who were facing anxiety because of this. But people are walking around and going, oh, he made it a joke. Literally just yesterday evening before I went to bed, somebody was literally telling me he should not have referred to them as a joke. Where did you get that from? This is exactly where my problem is. People don't want to dig in information. This is what I was saying about someone's video last week. I have an issue with the fact that people don't want to do their research, but they always feel like they have to say something. Like there are people who love to open their mouths and talk, but they haven't done any research whatsoever. They haven't clarified anything. They just love to. And you know what the crazy thing is that this whole quote solo promotions, the term he used there didn't even say solo promotions. It was actually activity. That's what he said. But the apps simply translated it to promotions. Okay. And while he's literally talking about trying to prove to people like, look, I am way too busy to be going to bars right now and drinking. All right. I don't have time for that. There was nothing like, you must stream my solo, stream my comeback, that sort of thing. Because I see everybody keeps talking about he was promoting his solo. He never said anything like that. He literally just said he was spending time preparing for his activities. He was doing vocal and dance training. He literally doesn't have time to be moving around and drinking in bars and whatnot. But everybody keeps saying, oh, he was, saying the allegations aren't true. Haha. Anyway, stream my solo. Like, he didn't say that. I don't know where people get this idea from. Like, oh, he's, telling people to stream his solo. Or what. That's not even what happened. Okay. But people just took everything that was translated out of context and claimed that was what he was saying. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, honestly, I just am going to say a few things in conclusion to this. The first one being the fact that you guys, there are some people who are still looking for a reason to hate on Woojin. I'm not going to spend any more time making any more videos about this situation. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I am done. Because people are just trying to find a reason to hate on this guy. Okay. And they will take whatever they can to hang the stuff over his head. They will use the fact that we don't know the reason why he left JYP. They will use the fact that his statement against him. They will use the fact that they believe that he bullied them or whatnot and he treated them terribly and the other members look so much happier without him. And it's just dumb to me, okay? Because the members look exactly this. They're acting the exact same way that they were acting before. They're just moving on with their lives, guys. They have to. Like, it's the same thing that I watched with Monsta X. When Wonho left, their very first performance after Wonho, their eyes were so damn red and puffy. They looked like they'd been crying all night. Those boys were miserable. How are they conducting interviews right now? They're laughing and they're giggling and they're making fun of each other as per usual. They're doing the exact same thing that they used to do before. It's not that they look happier without Wonho. It's because they're moving on with their lives. And just because you can't do the same doesn't mean that they can't. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And we can't sit here and say, oh, he treated them badly. Oh, he made Ayan uncomfortable. I'm not going to listen to that anymore. Anybody else who says this, you're just looking for a reason to hate on Woojin. Okay, you're looking for a reason to judge him because you know that these allegations are false and you want to have something to hold on to keep hating on him. And you know what? That isn't my problem anymore. And now that this video is done, I'm going to show you something a friend of mine posted on Twitter. And hopefully all those people who hate Woojin will have this haunting them for the rest of their lives.